What is happening?
What's up?
Your hair is, I don't think I've ever seen it like that.
I'm always wearing a hat,
It
so
looks very volumized.
thanks. This is like, it's like it does wonders at night.
Um,
I prefer it to be like this all the time, but it doesn't want to.
oh, yeah, it's always at the end of the day that you're like, my hair looks good and I'm not going anywhere.
Yep. Yep. That's I was trying to put a hat on. I was like, oh, it's actually not that bad right now. You doing all right?
I'm doing okay. I feel like the last 2 days I'm like, I don't know, out of it.
Hmm. Is it because of the like work or something like that?
Um, no, I don't know. It's just like it's honestly kind of annoying that I don't really know what it is. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Hmm.
like, why am I so tired and just like brain foggy?
Hmm.
But
I'm sorry. You
oh,
didn't have to
okay.
go to that thing last night.
I know I didn't have to, but I was like, I should go and support, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. I was
Yeah.
I was back and forth about it too, but I was like, I need to get out there and start going to these things more often. So,
It's also just like helpful to see like what everybody else is doing, you know, and it's also like sometimes nice to go to something that's not like there's no pressure because
mhm.
like it's not yours. You're not watching
Yeah.
anything that's yours. So you're just like, okay, I can just go and have fun and like, you know, not have to be like thinking too hard about it.
Hmm. Yeah, the do you feel pressure for the like Sam? Did you kind of feel any pressure for him?
Oh, like if he was like nervous, I guess he was a little bit like, but he didn't like he was like talking about it, but he wasn't. It's always different when you see other people like, because I don't, maybe people are more internalizing it. Um, but he didn't like seem that like nervous about it. He was just like, oh yeah, we'll see, you know, like, so I know he probably felt like a little bit, but it didn't seem like anything crazy.
Yeah.
Me, I'm always like, I can feel it in my chest.
Oh, dang. I had I've the one thing with that one time I did KTL, I didn't get to go to it, but um, yeah, I could feel that a little bit if I was in a room full of people about to watch something that you feel like you took so much time to make. It's it's a
Yeah,
new
it
feeling.
always I feel that's what's like I wonder if everybody like feels that because I'm like even when things yeah, that's like seems like not even that high pressure of a situation like KTL is not like, you know, the end all be all, but every time something, you know, and I think also it's like I used to think sometimes like with acting I'd be more nervous because like my face, it's me. And then when I started writing, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be as nervous because I don't have to do anything.
Hmm.
But then in a way I was like more nervous because I
Hmm.
was like, everyone's relying on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, maybe I don't know if it's just me, but I'm just nervous every time. So
And yeah, I mean, it's the work that goes into it, especially as like, if it's your writing and stuff like that, it's kind of like that's the moment where, like last night, I can't remember who it was that was saying at the panel was like, "Oh, y'all laughed more than I thought you would." So that was good to
oh,
hear. So sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes that's not like a good thing. Like hearing people
yeah,
laugh when you're like, "Oh no, that wasn't supposed to be funny."
even when I like think like write things that are funny, I'm still nervous when people laugh because I'm like, are they laughing because it's stupid? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
or is it, you know, is that a good thing?
Yeah,
But I feel like I'd
that's
rather have like even when like even watching some last night and like some that it was like so absurd or something that I would laugh. Like I still enjoyed that. I feel like I would rather be laughing at absurdity than like having no reaction. Because then I'm like, I don't know if you were trying to make that funny, but that was really funny.
I can't remember which one we were watching, but I remember hearing the both of you like bust out laughing, and y'all were the only two laughing. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, wait, which one was that? I know, I think everyone reacted to that one where the dog just disappeared.
Yeah, I think that was what
But then I realized like was that supposed to happen? Because it was supposed to be like the
like glitchy, like
well, yeah, because wasn't it like they were trying to do like reverse like Siri or something where it's like the real person, the guy was like kind of being Siri. So then I wondered, oh, was that supposed to happen? Because it was like showing that it wasn't like a real world. I don't know,
I
but that
I
was
mean,
funny.
if not, it's easy for them to say yes. I don't know.
Right?
It was like a
Well,
strange like masking situation. So I was like, I don't know what they would need to mask out, but
yeah, because even in that shot, I was like, wait, why would they have needed to? I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. No. No.
It's all good. Well, you know how I don't know if you listened to the first one, but really just talking about the project that we worked on recently, and can go off on plenty of tangents if we want to. Not one. I don't want to keep it to the project itself, but it's just really just kind of this is a way for me to kind of show some like transparency around the projects that I work on and
Mm.
for people to get to know people like yourself, and you can definitely talk about like the projects that you're working really hard to get going on. Well, for people who don't know who you are, give us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I hate that question. Like, what do you say? No, I don't hate it. I don't want to say hate. It's always just like, what do you say? I don't know. Should I say my name?
Mhm. Sure, you can start there.
Um, I'm Tara K. Burgh. I'm an actor, writer. Um, uh, I have lived like on every coast. I went to acting school in New York. And then I moved to LA. I did the LA thing. And then when COVID happened, a lot of things uh, got me more into writing, I guess. I had a back injury and I was like, hopefully I'm not going to be in too much of a tangent that doesn't make sense. Um, in a way, my back injury, I'm so thankful that in a way that it happened because it was when that was happening, I was like, I was only waitressing. I was like, what am I gonna do for work? And one of my friends was like traveling a lot on Instagram, and I was like, what are you doing? Because like, how are you making money and doing this? And he's like, oh, he's like, I kind of just got into like copywriting. My friend like works for an ad agency, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. And so then I just started writing, and I was like, I'm gonna find a writing job. I don't care. The only degree I have is for acting and memorizing lines, but I will do it. And then somehow I found myself editing for the vertical world, and yeah,
Editing the actual clips or like editing the scripts and stuff.
the scripts. Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
Did I tell you that?
Yeah, I knew that you were working for that vertical company. I didn't know in what ways exactly. I remember something about like going over scripts with people, but
Yeah,
um
I don't really know what I do anymore, but sometimes they give me a script, sometimes I edit it. So,
hmm. And you're still enjoying acting?
yeah, yeah, I was just thinking about that today. Like,
Do I like it still?
no, not even if I like it. It was just like, well, actually watching Legally Blonde, I was like, I like it was one of my favorite movies growing up, and I remember always like watching it and being like, oh, I want to do that, you know? And so now watching it like today I was like, "Oh, I remember like I always wanted to be an actor," and then getting into like I mean I wrote when I was like little, but and I was always really shy and it probably made more sense that I would just be a writer. But people have asked me that before and I always I don't know, say acting is just like more challenging, I guess, to my natural persona, and so it feels more rewarding, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Acting is hard. I took three acting classes, private acting classes from somebody here, and I knew pretty quickly that's not what I could do, but I still enjoyed it because I got to learn a bit more about the acting side, just to
Yeah.
communicate more. And then um, I would tell, I would tell the, I can't remember his name. I want to say it's Nick, but um, I was saying like, oh, there's like life lessons in every session we have. For some reason, I just took away life lessons, and it was kind of a cool. And I feel like I get that when I'm doing readings as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something like we get into the reading, and then we somehow get down this rabbit hole of like a philosophical rabbit hole, which I really
Oh,
love.
yeah, always. I do think about that sometimes too. Like I think I remember in college like getting scenes that like made me think about like I remember there was something that made me think about a fight I'd gotten into with my mom. And I
Mm.
remember like it was like the character I was playing like I somehow understood where my mom was coming from. And
Mm.
it was like the first time that I was like, wow, I'm learning about like myself and other people and like through the arts and the
Yeah.
characters. Um, and yeah, I think I've like learned so much about myself through other stories, but then also like the process, because it's like I feel like sometimes in school or in class, like I mean, there's obviously like so many different methods, but like uh people will, say to like use imaginary circumstances and like
Mm.
I feel like that never really like worked for me. Like I always had to like the more I connect to like myself and my life, it makes more sense and everything seems to like align more. I don't know if that makes any sense,
No,
but
it does. Yeah, well, I was gonna ask in relation to writing, like is there a difference?
um like as far as like learning about myself or how I write.
Mhm. Like, yeah,
Um
that learning more about yourself.
yeah, I feel like it's the same. Like I feel the same, like different in a way because it's a different thing, but like I do think like the same way that you grow as like an actor as a writer, it's I don't even know how to explain it. Like I just feel like through the stories that either you're acting in or you're writing, like it makes you think about your own life, like
Mhm.
and scenarios that are similar or how you dealt with something or how maybe you could have. And so, yeah, I think acting and writing, it's like the same kind
Mm.
of in that way.
And the one that you were saying that you were learning more about your mom, that was an acting situation.
Yeah, we did a play. I can't remember. We did a scene from a play. Um, can't remember what it's called, but I remember, yeah, I remember me and my mom got in a fight like right before I like went to college. And I can't remember like what it started as, but it was just like I was basically saying like my mom's argument was she when she was growing up all she wanted to do was get married and have kids, and I think I said something horrible about like wanting more out of life. And in this thought I had my phone on do not disturb. In this scene it was like these two friends, and one of them was like so content with like wanting to stay home and like be with her family, and the other one was like, you're crazy, like don't you want to like move out of this small town?
Mm.
And I was playing the character that was like content with being at home. And it was
Interesting.
like so interesting, especially like in college, like right around that time, it was meant to be, you know?
Hmm.
And I called
Yeah.
my mom and told her I was sorry.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's it's like a almost like what a therapy like a kind of a therapist would do sometimes where they like, okay, we're gonna flip roles and you're gonna be your
Yeah.
mom and that.
I do feel like, yeah, acting college was kind of therapy in a way. Sometimes it was like annoying. Like, I wouldn't want to go back to that now because I'm like,
Mhm.
all right, like, I've done enough therapy. Like, I can, but I guess college, it's like different because you're dealing with a lot of like, 18, 19-year-olds. And like, that's probably what you need to like, I don't know, learn more about yourself anyway to like be a good actor. But yeah, a lot of it was just talking us through our feelings.
Well, that's good. That's kind of how I mean, the arts are kind of that way in general. I
Yeah.
wish it was pushed a little bit more on the feeling side, but
Yeah.
um, it's I mean, doing all this now, like I really wish I got to be around more of like the theater majors and stuff like that. They were in the same building as us, um, and we would like piggyback off each other for little projects here and there. But I wish I would have gone to like more plays and stuff like that because I feel like I could have gotten a little bit more experience earlier on. But I mean, now is a better time than never. So
Yeah, I feel like there's so many things that I'm like, man, I wish I would have like done that or been, oh, I feel like there's always like, I wish I could have done more, you know?
mhm, yeah.
And I'm like, well, you weren't even really sleeping, so like, probably not enough time. But wait, so you majored in photography?
I was a fine arts major, but Vada State, it's you can't specialize in anything there, or like in the fine arts, you can't like uh have a BFA in art or excuse me, fine art with an emphasis on painting or emphasis on anything. So, but I did take photography classes over and over again, and I would, even if I had like already taken it, and my advisors would be like, why you keep taking all these photography classes? It's like, well, I really, really want to, and keep it going. Like I was okay at all the other ones. It's just photography was, I found it pretty uh, I found it to be the one, probably my like junior year. Um, but yeah, but it was cool because we got to share the building with the theater majors and the music majors, and so we hear each other and you know do projects
Yeah.
together every once in a while.
That's what like sometimes I wish I would have gone to like a school that like a film school. So I met like it was a 2-year acting program. So it was like just with actors, you know? And I sometimes I wish that sometimes like, oh man, I wish I would have gone to like a real college that had like, sports and things you could go do with other people, you know?
But
And
you
then
were in New
I'm like,
York.
oh yeah, yeah. I don't like sometimes I think about that and I'm like, but I don't like I'm so glad I went to New York. Like I think the only thing is may like sometimes I wish I'm like, oh, I wish I would have gone to like Tish or something and there would have been like so many film people, you know what I mean? And meet other like learn about like other things. Because it's just like it's great, I guess, to go to your school, but then you get out and you're kind of like, I don't really have any other skills. Like,
Hmm.
and also I don't know anybody else that does anything else. Like
Hmm.
now I'm realizing like moving to Atlanta and meeting so many people that like, other film people that do like are not just actors. It's so much more beneficial because you can actually get things done when you have a bunch of actors who are like, okay, so who's gonna shoot it? Like we don't know
What,
anybody else.
what was it? A
So
theater school?
it was a film and TV school. They ended up
Oh.
adding a theater year. I think, but
But it
and
was
then it
just actors.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was just an acting school. Um, which like yeah, I guess some ways I'm also I wish I would have gone to like a 4-year school, but then at the same time like less loans and also like I'm glad that I went to an acting school, but also I'm like I didn't need to. You could take acting classes outside of, I think the biggest thing I got was like the therapy and and being in New York. Like
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest like, you know, learning experience and just like growth. I think the more things and shitty things I've had happen in life have made me a better actor and writer. So I'm like, bring it on. I got a better story, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. Are you
So,
are you from up there?
no, I'm from Texas,
Oh, what part?
Dallas.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So, and I'm assuming Austin wasn't what it was when you were going to college in terms of
Um,
like film and TV stuff.
I guess not. I don't remember like I guess maybe it's just been in the last like several years that they like started because I think when did I go? Or maybe in the few years. 'Cause I think I went with my friend like in 2022 and I remember people just like starting to talk about Austin. Um I remember I originally looked at I didn't even really look at that many schools, but I remember there was a school, where was it? Was it San Antonio? I don't know, somewhere south that was like a big like theater, like actor college, but it was like a full um college. And I remember I like went and did a tour there and then I was like, no, I'm going to New York. So I'm so glad. I can't imagine if I'd stayed in Texas. Ugh.
That makes sense. I mean,
No.
it's New York is yeah, New York's awesome. I used to actually like my first experience there was not so great. So I used to like say that I would never go back to New York. I used to say that I'm probably just like an LA person. And then I go to LA, I'm like, okay, the beach is cool. The beach is cool, but I don't know about a lot of everything else. And then I got to go to New York again a little bit later on in life. I was like, oh, actually, no, this place is, if that was
What was your
the
bad
place
experience?
I, um, it was I was working for a private private football coach, and we were going to New York. It was a there and back situation in a day, and it was like really really hot that day. You fly in trying to get to where we're going. It was in
That's
what?
crazy one day.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
I
you
mean,
went into the city?
yeah, we went into the city. We went to VaynerMedia for something that he had going on. Um, and then basically left that same day. But I've done LA and back in a day too. And that was not supposed to be that way, but it was like right as everything was shutting down for COVID. So I was like, I'm going to go back now because I'm not going to get stuck in LA
Yeah.
during this. But no, it was just like I was probably very, very overstimulated and I had no idea what to expect in New York and the
Yeah.
traffic. That was my first time like dealing with like to go like 3 miles took us like 2.5 hours that day.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I love New York now. I love it so much. Um, and I would like to really get to know like the acting and film community there more too.
Yeah.
Because it seems like there's a lot of actors that are kind of like living there now instead of like California now.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard people venturing to New York. Um, I guess like LA is so weird now. It's just like everything there is verticals.
Ugh.
When I go on
Yeah,
like Actors Access, I'm like, ugh, ugh.
yeah. I know
But
a good amount of people out there that are acting and they've been doing verticals now, and it's like you don't like I've been thinking about this a lot about the whole vertical thing, and it's it's and I don't want to diss your job at all. It's just like it really does feel like the format doesn't work for that medium, if that makes sense. It's really hard to like you're moving camera, left and right and stuff like that, but you have this like vertical for I don't know. It's I
None
get
of
it.
it makes sense.
Right.
None of it makes sense.
Yeah. And they tried to I remember when they tried to do it pre-COVID, I think it was.
Oh, really?
It was well, I can't remember what the platform was, but there was a platform that was doing vertical series. Like I remember my roommate at the time booked one.
Oh, I do remember it was it was funny because my friend that was the one that was like copywriting that I ended up writing because he was traveling. I one of my like college professors was like running this app or like working for this app or something that was doing like vertical, but it wasn't like based on like Chinese web novels. It was like completely different. But this was like right when I first got to Atlanta. So this was probably like beginning of 2022. And it was funny because I had a friend from New York that was like, "Oh, my friend from here is like going to Atlanta to shoot something. Like, you should audition for it." I had submitted to it, like, not even knowing the connection until like I think I like booked it or something. And then she's like, "Oh, yeah, that's like my friend Josh." And Josh ended up being the person that was like copywriting, but and he went to our college too, but like a few years before. So, and I don't know why they specifically came to Atlanta to do it, but it was like a few episodes and but all it was that it was like shot vertically, but it wasn't based on any of the like normal content. I can't remember what the app was called,
I want to keep
but
saying it's like I think Tubi, but I don't think that's what it was. I feel like whatever it was, it folded. Um,
yeah, the whatever they did, like it's funny because that college professor, he reached out to me on LinkedIn and was trying to get into verticals. And I was like, people always be thinking that I can get them a job. And I'm like, they barely even pay attention to me. So I'm like, I'll try. But then I saw he finally like was posting that he had like shows that he had written. And I was like, oh, great.
Vertical shows.
Yeah, he's like working with another company now. But yeah, I don't know if he had started that app or I don't know, it was just like this weird connection, but then yeah, but it didn't go anywhere, but it wasn't based on like the regular you know, Chinese like stories.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I completely understand from a lot of actors' perspectives of like, it pays the bills. It's good experience in terms of like it keeps you kind of like going. But I've just heard so many like horror stories in terms of like the way they can be treated or the stories
Yeah.
themselves, and I'm like, oh boy, like
I know
it
that's like sometimes I'm like, "Oh, I'll act." And then I'm like, I don't feel like doing like a sex scene. I'm
right.
like, it's like not even, it's not worth that. Like,
Mm-mm.
if it wasn't, I remember the one, because I did one, that's how I got like writing with one of the, like the real short and then drama box. But the one I acted in, I think, I don't know if there was supposed to be like more. Oh, well, there was just one scene where we were like making out in a hallway, but then that's all they did. No, I won't say anything. And and there was supposed to be another kiss somewhere, but it was just a kiss, but the director was like, "We're not gonna do that one." Like, and it wasn't even anything crazy, but like he was just like, "No, we don't need to do another kiss here. That doesn't seem necessary."
Hmm.
And but that was still like nothing to what they do now and I mean I don't think I would have done it then because I only got 250 a day. Now they're getting some of them are getting like 20 grand for one
Whoa,
show. Yeah. I
that's
think those are
crazy.
like the really like popular actors that are like, done a lot of them, but
Hmm.
still like I feel like the base now I see is like at least like 6 or 800 a day.
I was listening to
As
something.
I'm literally repping my drama box.
I
I
was about
love
to
this
say.
sweatshirt. I like this sweatshirt. It's like real thick. And they were like, "What size do you want?" I said an extra, extra large. I'm not wearing it out. Like,
Swear it on podcast, you know.
yeah.
Well,
Anytime they say we're gonna send you merch, I'm like, give me the largest size you got because
that's cool.
it's not seeing the light of day.
Dang. No, it kind of is now. Um, well, I mean, I guess talking kind of in that same vein of like creating. So part of where this project that you and I worked on together recently was because I reached out to you out of like a dire need to make something, and you were like, "Yeah, let's do it." Because I felt like you felt the same way, like you were like just really wanting to make something too, and you put me in contact with Justin. So again, appreciate that. Um, I say that because the DP, like the handing off the camera part for me has always been like something that I knew would be tricky. And Justin was great to work with. Good experience in terms of like handing the picture off to somebody else. And then we had on top of that, Jess was there to help us out. Taylor was there to help us out and do some behind the scenes. Caroline helped out on some like behind the scenes and just like kind of in a sense like assisted a little bit here and there. But yeah, it was like the first time having like kind of like a crew too for me in that sense. Um, but yeah, like tell me about your experience working on something like that. I guess working on something kind of made super fast. Um, but I mean, it was fun nonetheless. Like
Yeah.
I was sitting here like talking bad about verticals and whatnot, but like, um, I think you and I had talked about it a little bit of just like that need to just make something and going out and doing it, and we did that, and it feels really good to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, working on verticals all the time, it's always just exciting to do something and especially when like everyone was just so cool and like and it always feels like I mean, it's so funny how like you can work one day with like a crew in like the beginning. It's like I mean, I know it's like you knew some of your people, but it's like not knowing anyone and then by the end of the day it's just like everybody's like meshed. And you know, it's like you don't get that a lot. So it's like even when you have like a one day like fast thing, that's like such a big um I guess for me like parameter of like no matter how like this turns out, like meeting people and having a good experience is ultimately like the dream, right? I know,
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, obviously you want to make something great, which it was, but it's like, it's even better when, you know, and I think it even turns out better, like the project turns out better. It's like I've noticed even things I've been in, the better experience I have with the people, the more I'm like proud of it. Because I guess in that way, you know that you can like communicate
Mm-hmm.
and if you can communicate, then like you're making a better story because you're able to like get what you want across.
Right.
Um, so so yeah, it was fun and I'm so happy that I met you and meeting people that are
Likewise.
just like excited to make something and um yeah.
Mhm. Well, it's I it was funny going back and forth, like wrote something completely that we did not do because it was too complicated to do in one day, and then going back and just wrote what we ended up doing based on uh again, I used the KTL dice on their website to like help
Yeah.
me form some parameters to because I was having an issue like, okay, this is easy, but it's not. There's so many ideas, but I don't know which one to choose and things like that. And that's why I love things like that to help you like, okay, like stick to this. Like, how can you make this
Yeah.
interesting? And and I felt bad too in the sense of like, well, the because the one of the parameters was only 6 lines or 6 words. I said 6 words because I liked the idea of there was this idea of maybe you not having lines at all, but then I was like, I gotta squeak something in there. And of course, it was the one thing YouTube doesn't like me to do, and that's just a curse. Um, but it's like it's been hard to like write something that you can't really do that for me. And but tell me about this for you. I mean, you're used to writing and acting. What it's like to, on the acting side, do something that is barely any dialogue, but is a lot more body. Like a lot of what you had to do for that was
Uh,
very physical in
I,
a sense.
I, yeah, I will say, like, it seems so simple, like on the page, you're like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab the box. And then, and then you're doing it, and you're like, why does this feel so hard? Like, it's like some, and what, I think sometimes when it's like you have a lot of dialogue, there's so much you can hide behind, and recently I did a short with Ryan. It was called uh I don't know, but a Chinese takeout menu or something. I don't know if I was telling you this, but the entire thing was just like me and him were on a date, and the entire like all the dialogue is like a Chinese menu. So it's just like chow mein, beef broccoli, and I remember when I like saw it on Actors Access, and I was like, no one is going to audition for this because they're going to think that it's stupid. And I was like, I'm actually intrigued because I want to know what the story is behind this. And it made me think about like in acting school, like Meisner, when you're like, oh, you have a blue shirt, you're wearing a blue shirt. It's, I wanted to see how it would go, like saying these words and whatever story was behind it. And it was like, and also it was like another acting class because it was like, oh, okay, now I'm having to really think about the story and the beats and not what I'm saying. And I haven't taken an acting class in a while and like thought that deeply. And it's like you can get so just like, oh, this is what the words are and say it and think you know what the story is and not
Mhm.
really understand like the character and what is really deeply being felt. And same thing with with this where there was no dialogue. It was like, oh, I have to suddenly have to have like this entire internal monologue story going on, and you can't hide behind whatever's just like written on the page and you're supposed to say. And which I mean, you shouldn't be hiding behind the dialogue, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, when you do something without it, it really makes you think about it. And then you start to second guess yourself because you're like, wait, I'm not saying anything. What's my facial expression? Am I doing it too hard? Am I doing it not enough?
Yeah. No, that was I was telling you last night. I wish I could have been like more focused on directing you, which you didn't do a bad job. It was just like I felt like I was kind of leaving you out to dry just a little bit because I was focused on everything else that
Honestly,
was kind of going on. Go
Bryce,
ahead.
no, like you were not. I've been on like sets and like student films. I did this one student film where like the director it wasn't like bad, but his major was like SFX or something, and so I don't think he really like wasn't really wanting to be a director. So like he didn't really say much. I'd be like, okay, wait, what's happening? And and so I think sometimes people think that you just show up, you give the actor a script and they know what's happening, so then we just go, we shoot. And so you were a lot more involved than I have had some experiences where there's nothing like
Hmm.
said at all, or it's just like they direct as in like just tell you where to go, you
Hmm.
know?
Okay.
So you did more than that. Give yourself credit. But it's also a
Yeah.
lot, like to to be thinking about all of the different aspects because it's like you're not just like focused on the actor, you're focused on this and that and you're also like, getting lunch and all those so like
It's
so
funny. Lunch keeps getting brought up whenever I talk about this with everybody else. Is like
what
trying to. I remember like trying to figure out lunch. That was the whole thing. That was funny.
it's like it's stressful like even when I like when I was talking about the thing with like Miriam was directing and I had like wrote it and was acting in it. And even then, it's like I show up, I'm like, okay, well, this is still like my thing. So even though I'm not like directing, like I'm still like making sure everything's getting done because I'm also like kind of you're
Producing.
not
Yeah.
just, yeah, you're producing. So it's, yeah, having your mind in all the places. So,
Yeah. It's funny like talking about the dialogue thing, like it was super helpful to have like a crew on something that again didn't have much dialogue. Um, we didn't really run sound. We kind of ran like a mic for some like ambient stuff. Um, and like the the thing that I had you send me a voice memo on, I just felt like I needed something that sounded a bit closer. So I just used that kind of in an ADR sense, but um I I'm just I'm just learning more and more like how important it is to have, you know, I feel like kind of what we had in this sense was like the bare minimum, but like having that plus like Justin having, a first and second or just having, some sort of like second or something like that, just to
yeah.
it's I could see why it's like, oh, this is why. And in the process of like, I think I was joking with you or I was joking with somebody that day of like, oh, now I see why it takes like, hours to make something that lasts maybe like a minute or like maybe a couple
Yeah.
seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
You set up for like 4 hours just for it to be like a minute long.
right. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, I think that's part of the thrill of it all too, is like just being in that environment when it's all getting set up and prepped, and especially when you're rolling. But no, the it was fun. Like um, I do wish we did the door scene now. Looking, I mentioned that last night too, and I'm sure Justin's going to be laughing when he hears that too. But um, we I think we did shoot it, but we didn't shoot it. I think that we were rushing at the end of the day to get to it, and like kind of like, dang, I wish we would actually done that to kind of let that beat not be so long in the beginning. Um, but I guess tell him tell him. I already know what the stuff is that you're working on right now, but like explain what you are in the process of trying to put together yourself.
I have a proof of concepts called Birdies. And yeah, we just finished the fundraiser. Um yeah, so I'm in pre-production for that. Uh I have yet to say if there's any struggles yet because I made like a list of some locations and I haven't it's like I haven't made any calls or done anything where I can say, oh, that was a hurdle or that was an obstacle, but I'm sure there will be. But I don't know.
Do you feel open to explaining what Birdies is, or like the concept around
Oh,
Birdies?
yeah, sure. Birdies, when did I write this? Well, so it was when I first moved to LA and me and my girlfriend were like another actor. We were like, oh, we're gonna write something. And of course we like really couldn't think of anything. And so we were just hanging out and she was telling me about um the restaurant she worked at. She started telling me about how she thought this hostess went missing and that she was pretty sure that like the restaurant was involved with a cartel. And I was like, let's write that.
That's
And
crazy.
so yeah, Birdie's about two actors. I said it in the 90s because I thought that would be fun. Um and I always say that it's Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion meets Ozark. So
That's cool. Oh, I'm excited for it. I think yeah, the stuff that you posted on social about it a little bit, but that's a really cool concept though. Um,
Thanks.
do
Yeah, I've
you do
been
you go
working
ahead?
on just constantly. It's so weird how the years just go by, and I'm like, wow, okay, that's been that long.
Well, I mean, it's good that you sit on it for that long.
I mean,
That's
honestly, I think it's like it was helpful, like with the fundraiser. So many people know that I've been like, I remember, I think I like wrote, um, I wrote like the first three episodes during COVID, and I remember like all of my waitress friends, we did like a Zoom call and we read it, and like so everybody, they all knew about it, like, and then I did like 1 minute things for KTL that was kind of inspired by it. Last
okay.
year, like shot stuff that didn't end up working out the best, but it ultimately I was wanting to use it to like the last year I've been like posting a lot of like making an Instagram page, and so to be able to like post some of that kind of stuff I think was ultimately the goal to help use it like for fundraising. So I feel like every time I like messaged people about donating, they already like were aware, which I think was beneficial because then it wasn't like, oh, what are you doing? Like you like this the first thing that you've ever like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people were kind of like, oh, okay, I've seen that you've been working on this, so like I'll give you $5, you know? So
Hmm.
yeah.
That's I mean, the proof of concept thing I think is super super helpful when it comes to sorry, she sees something out the window and is attacking it. But I've learned that too of like how if you want to raise money in any kind of way, like having something that looks like a bit of the thing that you're trying to do helps because
Yeah.
the script is not something that um the script is a very from what I've researched, again, this is like also new to me, but the script is something that can work for certain people, but like for like the public, it's not something that people can really like
No, I
conceptualize.
mean, even when the like the festival that a couple months ago Birdies was in it, the script was in it, and then I had Jambalaya, the short film, was screening, and I invited everybody to the reading and the screening, and like three people came to the
Oh,
reading, and
dang.
then everybody, I mean, granted, it was like, okay, I'm asking people to come to like two things, and it was on the same day, and so it would have been like a longer day, but I think some people were like, wait, well, some people thought that it was the same thing, and they're like, well, why would I come to a reading if I could just come see the film? But I was like, no, no, it's two different things. But and then like, yeah, I think a lot of people, it's like Miriam will say this. She'll be like, people that are also not even in film can't process a script. Like just read it, looking at it, listening to it. So I think visuals always help people. Also, it's
Yeah,
like as much work as a script is, it it it's like more proof that you can get something done if you have like something shot. You know what I mean?
right. How often do you write? I'm curious.
Um,
Not
I don't know.
verticals, the vertical works, but your own stuff.
I go through phases. I mean, like I especially write a lot more when I'm unemployed. Um, like when I've gone between jobs, like, and I'm applying to jobs specifically, like, and they have prompts, I'm like shooting out stuff because I'm like, oh, I gotta write something, gotta write something. Um, but like this year, I did the short that I did on my birthday, but I kind of wrote it like at the end of last year, but I wrote it because I was like, I want to shoot something with a couple of my friends. So I was like, I'll write something. And then the screenwriting challenge I do like every year that's in March, and I wrote the script for that. And then we wrote for the 100 hour, but I don't think I've written like I made like edits to a couple scripts this year, but I haven't written anything other than those this year. But also I think I spent a good couple years like a couple years ago I have like a lot of shorts. And so now I'm like I spend a lot of time just writing and I'm like, okay, stop just writing. Like you need to get them done. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I think that's like I have several or I have like a few now that I'm like, okay, I want to make these. So I could sit at home and just, write and be in my own little cave, but then I'm like, well, you need to like do something to get it made. So
Mm.
that's my phase now.
Yeah, I sitting on a lot of ideas that you've written, I have to say, is it's I think that it's paralyzing in a sense because there is like a part
Yeah.
of you that for me at least like I wanted to get better at writing, but then at the same time it's like are we gonna just gonna keep writing stuff and not actually make it?
Yeah.
And that's part of
Well,
like
and
the whole point of this.
sometimes I feel like it's also some I think we were talking about this last time. It's like, okay, yeah, letting something sit and then you come back to it, you make it better. But then sometimes it's like you can have a good script, but then even when it's shot, you might have been like, oh, I could have changed that, or oh, that sounds stupid now, based on the actor, based on this or whatever. So sometimes it's like, okay, yes, I do need to, yeah, get it made, and then it will still teach me something about like the writing process. And also it's
Hmm.
probably going to change like while you're shooting it. So but yeah, it is kind of like paralyzing when I feel like that was like last year. That was by like the end of last year. I was like, okay, I need to like make one of the scripts I have or write something else that I can just easily get done because I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay, great. You finally finished some short scripts, but like, what's happening? Like,
Yeah.
so
Do
yeah.
you like is there like could you is there a way for you to articulate like the type of voice you have when you write?
Um, like
Like
my like
do you feel like you kind of have like your own like style or like
I think I've yeah, but it's been have other people telling me because
oh
I have
yeah.
some of my friends will read it and they'll be like either it's like a female character that they read and they're like, Tara, as I was reading this, I could hear you saying this because it's how you talk. Um, or it's just like I know I like writing like dark comedies. I like when things are like absurd or, so I think I know that's kind of like my style and definitely I think maybe sometimes I have to work on like dialogue and like differentiating people because I would write everyone the way that I talk,
Yeah, that
Like,
is true.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's one thing that I have yet to kind of I think explore with what I've written is I feel like I've everything I've written so far has maybe two, three at the most. So like thinking of like you know 7, 8, 9, 10 people and how that person would sound versus how that person would sound. I haven't really got there yet.
Well, and I think that also is helpful with when making something too, because a lot of times when I have people in mind, then
Mm,
I tend to hear their voice. And so like there was a I was worked on a my friend asked me to help. He was these four girls, they wanted to make a short film and they asked him to help like produce it and teach them filmmaking. So he asked me to help like rewrite the script. And one of the girls, what did she always say? There was something she always said, and I put it in the script on purpose because
mm,
I was like, I know that that's like how she talks. And it
hmm.
ended up working so well. Like when I see it now, and I'm like, oh, that's just like so her. But then it's like helpful. That's when making something and knowing the actors also kind of like changes the voices of the characters or like, makes it more specific.
Yeah.
Or if I don't necessarily have someone in mind, like if I was making it, then I kind of picture somebody I know or like,
Hmm.
a person and I like try to think about just how that person is. But
Is dark comedy kind of just your favorite genre of like film and TV in general?
yeah, yeah, I think so. I don't know, like because then people will be like, "What's your favorite dark comedy?" And I'm like, um, I know I have them, but I guess it just depends. Like, I do think that I probably, yeah, dark comedy is like what I like to write because I always like. It's like I always love to have like some kind of serious, you know, plot happening.
Mhm.
But always I was telling Miriam this yesterday. I'm like, I hate when it gets like too sentimental or too dramatic in the
Yeah,
dialogue. Like
same.
someone has to throw a joke in there.
Yeah.
Like I hate when it's like too, I'm like, all right, let's lighten this up because there needs to be some kind of contrast. Cause I'm like, you just like watch something from the 90s or 80s and you're like, wow, they're so dramatic or
Yep.
it's sappy. I'm like, ugh.
Yep.
But I
That is
think it's
true.
just because some people are like good at that's what I would like to get better at is like not throwing a joke in and working through the
Uh,
drama or the softness of it. You know what I mean?
that's a cool idea. Yeah, like just
Yeah.
like make it dramatic and then like okay, like where does the joke fit?
Or not even like have the joke, but just like was it when like dialogue, I think that's probably the challenge is like having dialogue that isn't like sappy or like overly dramatic, but like, still isn't a joke. Um, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it's I mean, I feel like a lot of stories now, I think that's why, comedy is I wouldn't say struggling. I'd hate to say that it's struggling, but like comedy is kind of hard to put out now because I think it's kind of moved off of the campiness that it's kind of been throughout the, like early to late 2000s. And
Yeah.
um
You know what I really liked was have you seen Hacks?
no, but I've been hearing a lot of good things about that.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job of like it was like comedy, but like the like relationship and the when there was like a serious moment, it was very like grounded and not, you know, overly like dramatic or sappy.
Mm-hmm. Have you watched Widow's Bay yet? Have we talked about this?
No, I just saw it because I started watching Cape Fear. Well, I just finished Dawson's Creek. And I was like, let's switch this up a bit. So then I put on Cape Fear, but then I was like, no, I need to be watching more 90s stuff, like, for research. So then I started My So-Called Life, and I was like, oh my God, this is so dramatic. Like, so then I got back to Cape Fear, but and then I saw because I just re-downloaded, that's why I just got Apple TV again. So I saw The Widow's Bay and I saw that it was number one, and I was like, what's this about? You've been
Yeah.
watching it?
Yeah,
It's
it's
good.
funny. I binged watched like the first 7 episodes,
Oh,
and then I was like waiting on 8 and 9, and I haven't watched I think there's 10 or I can't remember how many. The finale was already out and stuff like that, but I
oh.
haven't yet to watch it. But it's such a good like mix of horror and comedy. Like
Ooh, okay.
just
Yeah, I saw it was horror comedy. Okay, I'm gonna watch it.
yeah, it's I don't know. It's not like Scream kind of, I mean that's completely like just a joke in the sense of like
Yeah,
not Scream
yeah.
scary movie. So I said Scream. But this is like it has like a really really good interesting story mixed with the acting like the casting for it is so good. And
Yeah, that guy that was in The Americans.
yes.
Yeah, I remember seeing the like some behind the scenes of that, and I realized that he's like Irish.
Yeah, he's from Europe. Yeah.
And I was like, and then in that American show, it was like he was playing a Russian that was
Hmm.
pretending to be an American. And then
Yeah.
like one of like the behind the scenes, he like breaks character and he has like an Irish accent. I went, whoa. I was like, what?
Yep.
I was like, he's so good. I
He
remember like
is.
already thinking they were good, and then I was like, oh, he's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. In the show, I can't remember who it was, I think, a clip that I came across that talking about the show, but it was he's almost like Charlie Chaplin-esque
Mm.
with the it's not just of course like the lines, but like the body language, like the body comedy that he is throughout it.
Oh, I want to watch now. I'm gonna watch after I finish Legally Blonde.
Oh yeah. Well, how many times have you seen that?
Oh, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in a long time. I was like been seeing all of the like, the new one that they're making or whatever. And so I was like, you know what? Because we had it on DVD growing up, and I was like, I used to watch it a lot. And it's one of those ones that like 13 going on 30, a few other ones like I watch like every year or 2 years. I haven't seen Legally Blonde in like 10 plus years. It was one that I actually like didn't remember every beat.
No. Well,
Like,
not until yeah, tomorrow. Then it'll be like
yeah,
running through your head. You'll have dreams
I
about it.
know. It was actually it's like fun because I'm like, oh, I don't remember all of this, Like I of course like remember like the most pivotal things, but I'm like watching it being like, oh, I don't want to miss a scene. Like, when you've seen something like so much that you're like, I know what's going on. Like
Hmm.
this is like, no, I know what's gonna happen, but like I don't remember this particular
There's
scene.
more context that you didn't notice from like when you watched it
Yeah,
so
I
long
think
ago.
also yeah, I probably didn't notice things because I haven't seen it since I was like, I mean, in high school or like middle school. So I
Yeah.
can't believe I haven't watched it in that long. But
Isn't there was there a stage play too, right? Like Broadway did one.
yeah, I think there's a second Legally Blonde too, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember that one at all.
There's a
I'll
reason for usually
I'll
sequels
be
don't get that
watching
same.
that too. It just
Oh, you
makes
got
me so happy. I feel like people don't make movies like that anymore. Like just like feel good.
just for fun, kind of, or like it feels
Yeah,
like
I
it's
don't
just
know.
for fun.
She just feels empowered, and I'm like, oh, she's just so cute, and like it's just, I don't know if it's because of like nostalgia too, like the lines and the moments that you like remember that are so, but I just don't feel like there's any like, I mean, the rom-com world is like not definitely not the same,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
that's true.
I feel like the things like right now it's very like dark things that are like out there. Like there's like obviously comedies and stuff, but like the things that are like well known right now or like in the last 10 years have been very dark.
Very dark,
So
or like with like trying to think of man, trying to think of something that would be in that realm. I mean, well, it's like
I
I
just
don't
can't
want
remember
to.
the last time I watched a movie like smiling like, oh, like
Yeah, same. Yeah. Well, it's like you look at something like Barbie that
oh, I did love Barbie. That probably made me smile a lot.
yeah, but at the same time there was that something that I feel like they do now rather than back then with the like first Legally Blonde is like make it all like Barbie, where now it kind of have like it
Yeah,
has like a little bit of like a like very clear message in mixed in with like
yeah,
Barbie.
yeah, yeah.
Where Legally Blonde, I don't think, or that era just didn't have that little, like specific message that they kind of try to fit in there.
Someone sent me this also made me want to watch it again because it made me think about like birdies because my friend sent me this video where Reese Witherspoon was talking about um Legally Blonde, and she said like she originally didn't want to do it or something, and there was there was another role or another actress or something that made her think of doing this or something, and her whole reasoning for doing it was like, oh, this is like a woman that's like underestimated and like it's her story, like, and she like goes against the odds, like something that people wouldn't have expected of her. And it was some related to another actress in another role, and she was like, oh, it was Goldie Hawn in what movie was it? The one where I think she goes into like the army or something,
Yeah,
and
I know
how
what
it
you're
was
talking about.
kind of the same. Like I should know it because I love Goldie Hawn, but Private Benjamin, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and how like it was so unexpected of her. It was same thing, I think Goldie Hawn, like in that role, it was like the same thing that Reese was like, oh, this is my like
Hmm.
private man for like me to reinvent like this woman. And I was like, oh, I love that so much. And then it made me think about like birdies because I like have these two girls that like get involved with the cartel. And I was like, yes, it's the same thing.
And
I was like, but it's different because they're not doing something good. Like,
and
um,
I forgot you're because you keep bringing up the 90s. You're basing the the timeline in Birdies in the 90s. Is that right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't at first I wasn't gonna do it. I remember the first person that ever read it, one of my friends, I told him, I was like, okay, I might change something, but I want you to read it first and then I'll tell you. So then you can be like, oh no, or yes. And so he read it and then I was like, yeah, I said it in the 90s, but this was when I wrote like the full episode, and I was like, there was no way I was gonna like make that. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be harder in the 90s. It's like, bitch, you wrote like a 50 page. Like, there's no way you're making that either. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
so, but my friend was like, no, I like it in the 90s because like all this stuff kind of like makes sense that they would like accidentally end up doing this. And like, and also I love the like LA Hollywood 90s like time too. So I just felt like not only was it like more fun, I just felt like it kind of would make more sense. And also, I was telling Miriam this too. I keep saying Miriam, no one knows who Miriam is, but she'll be a mystery. Now I feel like I'm just talking to you and I forget that we're even doing
That's
this.
okay. Yeah, that's
But
how this should go.
I was like, because I think I was like filling out something for birdies, and it was like, why now? Like, why are you the one to tell the story? And I was like, you know what's so interesting? Like, oh, it's been so long, and I feel like it makes more sense like now than ever because it's like everybody wants like nostalgia and like everybody wants stuff from the 90s. And I also want to try to, I can't afford to shoot this on a film, but I want to try to make it look like it's film.
Okay.
And so I just feel like I want to bring like that aspect back to like all of the like even though there's like cartel involved, I still want the like, 90s nostalgia, like kind of happy comedy feel.
Mm,
Uh, so anyways,
interesting.
I don't know, I keep
What's a good reference point maybe that you're trying to kind of like aim for? Or I mean, as much as you want to be original, of course, like is there like a TV series or movie that you're like really aiming for with that?
um I mean, Romeo and Michelle was kind of like the
That's right.
first one. Also, like I do like the mix of like practical magic. I always loved how that was like darker than normal for like
Hmm.
the 90s.
Hmm.
Um, but then it's funny because like sometimes now I watch it and I'm like, if this was I just watched the trailer for the second one. I was like, yeah, they're making it darker because like you can tell in the first one they still have the like romance between like Sandra Bullock and the cop. And I'm like, this would never happen now. Like they just had to have some kind of like romance to this because
Hmm.
the fact that they like killed this guy, like it was really dark. And I was like, it's not like the like classic female like kind of film I think of for the 90s, um but yeah, maybe a little mix of those.
Are you I have to ask on the dark comedy side, are you a Always Sunny fan?
I think you asked this the when we were shooting. I
Oh, that's right. I was
my
like, I'm
brother
trying to
loves
remember
it.
where the people were like, "Oh."
Yeah, everyone was like I don't dislike it. I just have never like I've watched episodes here and there because my brother loves it and so he'll put it on and he'll watch, but like I've never watched it all the way through.
Hmm, gotcha. I ask because anytime I think of like dark comedy or in TV for sure, that's just my go-to because
Yeah.
especially like the very first like couple seasons, like that first season, like jokes they definitely can't get away with now.
I know
Um,
that's my brother's favorite season. Like, he put like if I know any episodes, it's those because he always puts them on. Like he either is putting on Britney Spears or the Always Sunny episodes.
Dang. That,
Like
I
he'll be
mean,
at his apartment and like you don't even know what's going on. Suddenly it's just on the TV and you're like, okay.
yeah, it's definitely something you can kind of just leave on and watch in the background too. But it's, oh man, that show is, to me, like, it was almost kind of like how Family Guy can be for people. It's just like, if you want it, if you know you want to like really laugh right now, just put on an episode of
Have
that.
you ever seen Veep?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
good.
I love that show.
Hmm. That's
So
of all
laugh.
times to
Yeah,
like,
it's in my top hmm, top five, I would say.
hmm.
Mhm.
Outside of comedy, is there like a, maybe a film or like a show that you kind of gravitate towards that's not in that comedy genre, you think?
Um, Another kind of like, well, inspo for birdies, was have you ever seen Alias?
Yeah.
I loved that show growing up.
Hmm.
I loved her, like, I was like, I want to wear wigs. I want to like do fight sequences. And I just loved that she had like a double life. And I was like, oh, she's just at college. Oh, now she's like, in China climbing over a wall with a wig. And I was like, so that's, I was like, okay, Breeze, they can just have their normal girl life at the pool and then wigs.
Mm. Oh, okay. That's where the wigs come from. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Is there fights? Are you trying to put fights into
Um,
birdies?
in the short that I have, well, oh, I don't know if I should give it away. Yeah, no, there is. I do plan to have a. This isn't like a um planned fight. Well, I guess no fights are really like planned, but this isn't like this is supposed to be like the beginning, so it's I guess more of like a struggle, not like a cool fight. But I think it'll still be cool because I was
Yeah.
like,
Hmm. Yeah. Good little teaser there.
yeah,
Hmm.
so I have to get did just as stunts, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Do like a stunt like coordinator too? Call
I
it.
think so. I mean, I don't know
I
if she like
have to-
officially is one, but I know she does
He just does
stunts.
stunts. So I'll have to
She
hit her up.
knows coordinators for sure.
I gotta make my list.
Yeah. That's
It's part
it's
of my
funny. Justin
prefab.
messaged me today. Um, what did he say? He said it's like, I don't know how to tell him I can't do this yet, but um he said, just had a thought. What if you write something with a fight sequence? Robert Robert Eggers meets John Wick. This then get Jess and her friends to get involved. I was like, that sounds like a lot. I don't know if I could write for something in that genre of things right now. I mean, John Wick's awesome. Robert Eggers and John Wick, that's a very interesting combination of things. Like The Witch meets John Wick or something. I don't know. Um,
Justin's so funny. Just randomly texted you that
I mean,
today.
please, like, I love when people do that. It's just like,
Honestly, that's great. It's like if someone gives it, it's so much harder to just come up with something out of nothing, Like,
mhm. Yeah. I mean, I guess I definitely see where he's coming from with like an attempt at something that's different. Um, I mean, a stunt in a horror sense is interesting to me. Um, but um, I could just
mm.
only imagine something like very like period piece like Robert or with Eggers, and you have like a whole fight situation. It's like it reminds me of what is it called? The Lincoln Vampire movie. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I don't think I ever saw that.
Which was, it's actually like wildly good for if you love that kind
I
of.
feel like I've heard mixed things. I heard that it was like
Oh, it's
I
very
can't.
like, it's like definitely like not um there's no like you think like, did this actually happen or anything like that. It's just like there's no like little play at that at all. I bet there might be people out there that do that, which is weird, but um no,
Like,
it's a solid like action movie with vampires in it. And Lincoln as a vampire hunter. um
funny.
yeah, random concept, but it worked. But like the act, like the see, I remember I think it was like the fight sequences in there are like really good.
Mm.
The choreography is really, really good. Um, but no, it's interesting that you're bringing up the 90s and stuff like that because it's like now it's making me think of all the stuff I mean, 90s, early 2000s. Um, man,
I know
I
it's
mean,
so weird. Like I can't think of like anything past like that would be on my favorites list except for like a couple shows like Veep and stuff that's like past 2005.
yep. I mean, I remember Alias. Um, I think we had just watched Veronica Mars over again, and that was
Oh,
back.
I need to watch that too. I haven't seen that.
That's I mean that fits the bill a little bit with what you're going for. I think with Birdie's,
Yeah.
except no wigs or anything. Well, no, I take that back. Like she was like the undercover, so she might have at some
Mm.
point. Huh. That's cool though. Huh. Well, thank you for doing this.
Of course.
Um, you did great. No,
Yeah, they go ahead and talk a lot, so
yeah, it's I don't have like full on plans for like the conversation. It's just like talk about the project a little bit and then segue however it should.